What is up, everybody? Slash here. Today, I'm going to be talking about more of a post discussion of the ban list, more of key points for each thing, and what we're going to expect to see more this year. But first, a big shout out to The Lookout for hosting the Xenoverse tournament. Was an amazing time. Big shout out to Brand LC for winning. He ended up topping with the Android 21 using the Violent Predators. Was amazing. If you guys haven't checked it out already, go visit The Lookout. I'll also put a link to the video in the description down below. You can go check it out. It was a live stream. You can always skip through the waiting times if you need to. It was an amazing time. Thank you to everyone who participated and for everyone who watched as well. It was a great time. Big sincere thank you to The Lookout for giving me the opportunity to help co-host with them. It was incredible. I absolutely loved it. It was a blast. Every deck, their finishing moves, everything had a climactic ending to it. It was incredible. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the ban list. So, in general, Gamma, Gogeta, and Syn Shinron. What problems did they bring? Now, I would have to say the biggest problems that they brought was Gamma was too consistent. Gamma was able to restand energies, play cards from their energy. They had the most insane floodgates. Because they could restand energies, floodgates were free. Don't forget, you've also got Dimension Magic, Sensu Beans. You can just keep restanding energies as well. In general, Gamma was just too strong. It was too consistent. And then I would have to say for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, same kind of thing. It would draw like a well-oiled machine. The boss monster was insane for the deck. The damage output for that deck was very good mid-range. And then, of course, Syn Shinron, it had its own whole list of problems as well. Z-Energy was a new thing. It was able to charge Z-Energy extremely quickly. You could awaken consistently on turn 2. You draw a mountain of cards every single turn. You could play the new TP promos of the defeating Demon Gohans. It had so much power. So, now that they're gone, what do we look at next? So I would have to say the likes and dislikes of these being banned. Number one, I would have to say the likes of this ban list means we're now open up to a lot more cards and decks in general that can be played. So probably expect to see some older decks show up. So let's say even Yellow Baby, or we could end up seeing King Coalmaker return. There are so many opportunities now, and I think this is very exciting for the card game. I would say the dislikes is more, we saw bans first happen for Syn Shinron and Gogeta. It would have been nice if they did that first to Gamma as well, but I understand why they do this. I think it's a fresh start for Super, and I think this is going to be an amazing time for the rest of this year. So, what does this mean moving forward now for Dragon Ball Super? What color is going to be the best? Now, I would have to say the most consistent color right now is probably going to be yellow. But yellow is going to be dealt with a lot of the new green power. Red is still in a good spot. Blue is in a very good spot still. They have all their defenses. And of course, black is in a very powerful spot too. So this is very exciting for the card game. I'm not going to give any financial advice on what to sink your money into. But I would say at least what is going to be the most consistent color that we're going to see right now, it would be yellow. I think Majin Vegeta still going to be very strong. We've got the new Vegeta Goku leader. That's going to be able to draw so well as well. And you need less archetype to be able to make it work. So we're going to expect to see a lot of yellow. So what does the new set provide for the next phase of Dragon Ball Super this year? I would have to say that the color identity is still very much there for each color. The strengths of all these boss monsters that we have for each color are very splashable in most decks, which is just fantastic to have. And of course, don't forget the counters for green as well now. Splashable for any Saiyan leader. That's going to be amazing. You're going to expect to see a bit more Reddits popping up. You might even see some other cooler, older stuff show up as well. And finally, my personal thoughts on what I hope to see this year for all these new decks being played. Now, I would have to start by saying I hope we see less Achilles heel decks. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you look at Gamma, You have a very strong deck, it does something in particular very well, but they make an Achilles heel by, let's say, not being able to use extra cards, abilities, battle card abilities from other things besides androids. So what they're doing there too much is they're focusing on making one thing incredibly strong and making one thing kind of weak for it. That's the Achilles heels, right? Now, the problem with that is there is just so much support for everything in general, especially for blue and yellow. If you make one thing incredibly strong and then you make the other thing a little too weak, there's too much support in there where you can strengthen the support for the weaker side of the Achilles heel. So I hope to see more just consistent decks, but with less Achilles heels. Just not overly strong. Something like U7 Goku, for example. I hope to see more things like that. And of course, I hope to see better quality control from Dragon Ball Super. It was pretty unacceptable what we saw for Green, for Cell, for this new reveals. I hope they get on top of this as soon as possible. It's unacceptable for them. Don't forget, it's not just made in 1 week and then they release it all in 1 week. These are made much more in advance. I hope that they do better quality control. Of course, everyone makes mistakes, including companies as well. But I do believe that if you're going to provide products for people to buy, you can't have so many mistakes. That is just unacceptable. I do hope that they will have a bit more quality control in general. And of course, continue with creating color identity, because that is one thing that we don't want to lose. So if we're looking at yellow, for example, yellow has so much control, but now they're starting to get a lot of aggro cards, like 1-cost double strikes. It's starting to lose a bit of its conditioning for what yellow was, but it's not there yet. It's still in a good spot, I think. So this is more or less my ideas and post-ban list discussions, what I think is going to be good, what's not going to be good. And I think you might be interested in my follow-up video later this week. We'll be talking about some decks that we're going to see. But I think overall, this is going to be a good year. And I would say, eat your heart out, go try different decks, have some fun, re-experience Dragon Ball Super again like you used to. Don't just stick with one deck, go try other things out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see what crazy decks we can come up with together, right? So, once again, thanks for watching. If you haven't liked the video, give it a like. Give me a comment down below what you think is going to be the most highlighted thing for this year in Dragon Ball Super. What do we want to see, or what do we hope to see happen? So if you like the video, give it a like. If you don't, you don't. Thanks for watching. Peace.